Okay, so we are now going to look at area of compound shapes. Now a compound shape, all a compound shape is, it sounds complicated and it's very much not, is a shape that has been made up of other shapes. Okay, so for example, here is a compound shape and that has been made up of two rectangles. I could split it that way and there's a rectangle here and a rectangle here, or I could split it across that way and have a rectangle here and a rectangle here. Okay, similarly, here is a compound shape. It's a pentagon, it's a five-sided shape, but it is made up of a triangle and a rectangle. Okay, you could also split it up this way and say it's made up of two trapeziums. Okay, these are what compound shapes are. Now, to calculate the area of a compound shape, all you need to do is you need to split your shape into shapes that we know how to calculate the area of. Okay, so we're going to look at a very nice rectangular one to start with because that will help us. Okay, so let's say we have got a compound shape that looks like this. Here we go. Okay, so you've been given all these, sorry, I'm a bit wonky. You've been given all these measurements and you have got to calculate its area. Okay, now we talked about how to calculate the perimeter of this sort of shape in your perimeter video, so check that out if you can't remember. Okay, the best way to do it is to split it into shapes that you know how to calculate the area of. So we could either split it down this way or across this way. Now there is no right or wrong way, we can do it either way. So let's do it by going downwards. Now I'm going to call this rectangle area A, and I'm going to call this rectangle B. Okay, so to calculate the area of shape A, that is a rectangle that is 12 centimetres by 9 centimetres. You'll notice it is not drawn to scale. Okay, so 12 times 9, we're going to do 12 times 9, which is 108 centimetres squared. I've then got to do the area of shape B. Now shape B is a little bit trickier because we haven't been given all the length. So to calculate the area of shape B, I've got to do this length times this length here. Okay, base times height, length times width. So this whole length along the bottom is 20 centimetres. This is 12 centimetres. So to calculate this remaining bit here, that must be 20 take away 12, so that is 8 centimetres. It's not half like many people believe. It is 20 take away the 12, so that makes 8. So the area of this is going to be 8 times 4, which is 32 centimetres squared. Therefore, in order to calculate the total area of this compound shape, I'm going to do 108 plus 32 to calculate my total area, and my total area is 140 centimetres squared. Okay, now that is how you do all compound shapes. So let's look at a different one. Let's look at the second style I gave you and give you this pentagon. Okay, now I'm going to tell you that this height here is 12 centimetres and this here is 7, and let's say that this over here is 20. Okay, right, so again we're going to split it into known shapes. Now you can split it into trapeziums, but it's probably easier if you split it into a triangle and a rectangle. So here I'm going to cut it across there, and I'm going to call this shape A and this shape B. Now A is just a rectangle, and the rectangle has lengths 20 and 7. So I'm going to do 20 times 7 is 140 centimetres squared. I then need to get the area of B. Now B is a triangle, so I'm going to do the base. Now that base is going to be 20, so base is 20. Times by the height. Now the height I am after, of course, is the vertical height. This height here is 12 and this bit here is 7. So 12 take away 7 makes 5. So that must be 5. Base times height divided by 2. Base times height is 100 divided by 2 makes 50. Therefore, the total area is going to be 140 plus 50, which makes 190 centimetres squared. I'm going to do one final example in case something like this arises in your work. Okay, this is going to be a slightly more complex shape. It is going to look like this. Now, excuse my drawing, we have to roll with what we're given, don't we? So, here we go, that's what we're drawing. So this shape has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, which makes it a hexagon. Now, I'm going to give you some lengths of the hexagon. So I'm going to say that that's 6 centimetres. This can be 14 centimetres. This can be 9 centimetres both sides. And it can have a height of, let's say, 13 centimetres. Okay, now how are we going to make this into shapes we know? Well, the easiest way to do it is to split it this way again. Okay, that means we get this is shape A and this is shape B. Now hopefully shape A is fairly straightforward for us to see. That is a rectangle, so we are going to do base times height as always, or length times width. 14 times 9, which I'm hoping is 126. Let me just check it on my calculator in case I have a funny 5 minutes. 14 times 9, 126. Perfect. Okay, so the area of shape A is 126 centimetres squared. Now shape B. Shape B looks like this. What shape is that? Hopefully we all know it is a trapezium. So this length is 6. This length here must be 14. Now this whole height was 13. This height was 9, which means our remaining height here must be 4. Now, area of a trapezium we have learnt in the previous video, half the sum of the parallel sides and times the distance between them. So we are going to add our parallel sides. We are going to half it, and we are going to times by the distance between, which makes 40 centimetres squared. So overall, our total area is A plus B, and that is 126 plus 40, which makes 166 centimetres squared.